Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode number 10 of Rollplay, Verona, the final episode of Verona of the year, and I guess the decade, too. Weird.
Wow.
Didn't even think about that one. Jeez, dude.
Yeah, it's the second last. I don't know if Jesse has an episode of Star Wars next week, but I think it's the second last Rollplay show of the decade as well, so that's exciting. Hello and welcome. Thank you for coming in. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, right? Yeah. Listen, I could start every episode with welcome to episode number 10 of Rollplay Verona. It might be your last. We all know that. We don't need to be reminded of these things. It's fine. Yes, welcome to Verona, the show that reminds you the ceaseless crawl of time will never stop and someday we'll all be worm food. I'm so glad you've decided to join us here on this fine holiday season episode. Merry Christmas, everybody. So for today's pre-show, I have to begin by saying, Elspeth, I need you to know, A, I follow you on Twitter, and B, awesome. You need to stop posting so many adorable selfies of yourself and making us all look like jackasses. I think the cast is in agreement that you're really you're making this very difficult for us. So
I'm trying my best, dude. I recently started experimenting with a lot more makeup because I was like, I'll just be fine with like a foundation, mascara, whatever. And I'm like, but what if I like took it the extra step, and I actually treated it as more of like an art form and went for like concealer, highlighter. There's a lot that goes into makeup and a lot that goes into like stream makeup in particular because you want to look good under lights, and you want to look good for like selfies or whatever. So I'm like, you know what? I'm feeling myself right now, so I'm gonna post a selfie. And I haven't ever.
Do you ever get those? Do you ever get those comments where you've like gone to the effort of putting makeup on and you're like, yeah, all right, I look good, and you do a stream and somebody says, see, this is what I like. Girls that don't wear any makeup. That's the kind of girl for me.
Oh my God,
you're like, I spent 45 minutes.
So I actually did a test with this one time. This was like a year back where I did the exact same makeup routine. One day I didn't wear lipstick. The other day I did wear lipstick. The day I wore lipstick, they were like, don't wear so much makeup. And then it was like, immediate, like, dude, I changed one thing, but it's the lipstick that makes them think, man. It's like, oh yeah, that's it. You're wearing a ton of makeup now that you have your lipstick on. It's so weird. It's bizarre. Yeah, I've been thanks for noticing. I've really been putting in some effort for the selfies, but yeah,
I don't because of the way the Twitter algorithm works. I don't always see the first picture, but there's all these posts of people I know being like, oh my God, Elspeth. And I'm like, oh, Elspeth posted a selfie again. I see how it is.
Oh God, again.
Yeah. Well, besides looking so good, what have you been up to?
So actually, on the same vein of that, I have been working out a lot. I went to I actually started going to the gym this week, and I started deadlifting, and I am incredibly sore. I've never done it before, and I'm really excited to get into it. Like I'm actually it feels like my newest addiction, right? Where I'm just like I'm here, and I really feel like slow and steady wins the race, and I'm getting progress. I feel stronger already just after 3 days of really, focused workouts. And I have a trainer who's really awesome. So it's been going really well, and just trying to, tone up my body rather than be like, yeah, I'm just going to the gym to, drop a couple pounds. I really want to like get strong. So 2020 is year of Swolespeth, guys. It's coming.
Ooh. I am personally looking very much forward to the point where you can punch holes in walls like Adam Driver.
Hell yeah, dude.
Looking forward to
Hell
it.
Yeah. I want to be that one scene from that one Schwarzenegger movie where he slaps the other guy and he goes, Dylan, you son of a bitch, and then they do that.
Predator. So no, this is the thing.
Yeah,
so
that's it.
Elspeth, have you and Mark met in person yet? Has this happened yet?
No.
Have you met in real life? Okay, so that is the challenge. By the time we get there, Elspeth, you have to be as ripped as Arnold Schwarzenegger, and Mark, you have to have the arms of
Dylan.
Of the guy.
Of the guy.
Isn't he in The Mandalorian now? Help me out here, Wheat.
Yeah,
you should
I think it is actually. Yeah, I think you're right. I think it is the guy who's in The Mandalorian. Yes, that
Carl
is
Weathers.
correct.
All
That's his
Weathers.
name.
Carl Weathers.
Carl Weathers.
Thank you, chat.
Yep.
And my goal will be to be as ugly as the Predator.
That's impossible.
Wow.
Aw,
And I
Better
will hunt
stop.
both of you down.
see, Marcus has got the Predator down below. He's got it down. Also,
I'm just
Speth, we
thinking
have
of
met in
Vana just somebody
person.
president.
Have we?
Have
Of
you?
course we have.
We-
Of
it's
course we
Europe.
have.
Wow.
Of course we did. Okay,
Jade.
so here's the thing. I'm sorry, Mark. I'm so sorry, but yeah, we totally have met, and we
Okay.
did a live show together. This was in Europe. This is where I get confused because it's like I feel like half of the people that I've met already, I'm like, I don't think I've met them yet. And half of the people that I'm like, yeah, we've definitely met in person. I'm like, I've never actually met them. It's like you see people so often on social media, you're like, yeah, we've met already. But for
It's-
Mark, I consider him so like off in a distant land. I'm like,
Dylan,
no,
there's
Mark.
no way we could have met. There's no way. But also,
my apologies for my shitty
No.
memory.
it's fine because also I have the most generic male model in this simulation. I'm built as like standard male NPC A, so it's fine. You've met many people like
Are you
me.
saying you have a standard NPC face? That's
Yeah.
so no, you
No,
don't.
Hey,
it's not
we
even
met. I
no.
was that
It's
guy.
100%
I was that guy
true.
at the con with the beard and the glasses. You know,
That
glasses and
brown
beard guy.
hair,
We met.
beard, glasses. I am generic male model number one. You know, like it's
well, at
absolutely
least you
true.
don't look like the Predator, so it's okay.
Right.
I mean, that's true. I've got you beat, Vanna, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, don't
Vanna,
beat me
next
up,
time I see you
you
in
guys.
person, if you're not 9 feet tall and have a shoulder-mounted laser cannon, I'll be very disappointed.
I'm gonna get some crazy platform shoes. It's gonna be great.
Yeah,
On stealth.
it's it's good to have goals going into the new year. It's nice to have resolutions like get
Yeah,
strong or
achievable
work on
goals.
your diet or become the predator.
Become the predator, dude. You can do that for sure.
I already have the
I wanted
heat
to
vision.
start, I wanted to start before the holidays. I'm like, you know what? Screw this. I know that I'm going to be eating a lot, and I'd rather just start, balancing that out right now instead of like waiting for January and be like, I'll do it in
Ooh.
January. Try to
Now,
get ahead.
This is a very like JP during the Court of Swords pre-show kind of question to ask, but I need to know what's everybody's favorite holiday-related food object. And Mark, is it something weird because you live in a foreign country? Go.
I'm not. See, I'm not a big Christmas person, so like, Christmas isn't a big deal for us. I don't really celebrate it with family and stuff anymore. So I don't know, like we have pigs in blankets, which are like little sausages wrapped in bacon. Those are pretty good. And then
So
Yorkshire
cute.
puddings, which I guess would be the weird thing that maybe you guys don't have, is a good Yorkshire pudding.
Yeah, they're not actually pudding in the way that we would think of them.
No,
They're
like a little
like,
savory kind of
baked things.
Yeah.
I know. I'm from
Is it made
Canada.
of blood?
I'm like a half elf.
No.
I feel
I
like
understand the two worlds I stand in. It's fine.
Blood pudding
I
is
feel
a
like
different
all
thing,
egg-
Vanna.
I feel all pudding in the UK is made of blood.
Right. Yeah.
No one,
It's like,
no one
I
can
know
Yeah.
change my
there's blood over
mind.
there. What is with
Yeah.
the bloodshed of animals? You guys are good. What the hell, dude?
Like if
Delicious.
I bleed in the UK, I bleed pudding.
Yes.
I'm
That's
pretty sure your
exactly
new
it.
prime minister is a vampire anyway, so that completely makes sense.
The prime minister did suck the pudding out of my neck.
I just
That's a
don't want to
brand-
think about it, Adam.
That's a brand new sentence.
Yeah. We are vampires, it's true. The whole country.
Yeah.
Pale,
Knew it.
sophisticated, for the most part. Yeah, vampires.
Can turn invisible. Every time I've ever startled Mark, he just turns into a cloud of bats and flies off. So it's a very normal experience.
Adam will start
Oh
the
my
conversation.
God.
So why do you like D&D so much? And then bat.
Gone. Just bats. Just turn into bats and fly away. Yeah.
I love it. I love bats. I have a giant bat tattoo. We're gonna be
Bats
best friends.
are
Mark.
cute. Bats are the best. They really
They're
are.
sky puppies.
They are. They're adorable. People are like, yeah,
Sky
that's
puppies.
Sky
No.
puppies, yeah, bats. Yeah, they're sky puppies.
Yeah, Marcus.
And then
you don't get a say in
seals
this.
are ocean puppers.
You're
Not everything is a
overridden,
dog,
sir.
okay?
It is. No, it is. Adam, you're wrong. Everything can be related to being a dog.
This is
Marcus,
true.
help me get back on track here. You live in the heartland of America. What's your favorite Christmas dish?
We do prime rib on Christmas.
Hell yeah.
Ooh, good
So
Oh, yeah.
That's
Big.
so much better.
yeah,
Then what,
It
pudding
is.
made out of blood? Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is.
Oh.
Yes.
It's like slices that are like this thick. It's just overly.
yeah. Thick slices.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's too much. And cookies. I'm really excited, you guys. I'm back in Nebraska for the holidays, which means that my mom is just going to make all of her cookies at our place, which means that like
Oh, yeah, instead of sending them
systematically
to you.
when
Yeah.
she bakes, right, 5 sheet pans, I take 2 and hoard those away, and then it's glorious. I'm gonna get so fat eating cookies. They're just the best. I'm
One
so
of my
happy.
favorite things about you, Marcus, is that you have a family and a child and are like in every conceivable way an adult, but every once in a while, like teenage goblin Marcus comes out and I'm just like, yeah, that's the djWheat I like. Where I'm just like,
Yeah.
I imagine you sitting there at 4 a.m, everyone else in the house is asleep, you're playing Path of Exile with a giant pile of cookies next to you.
Fuck yeah, man. Just literally like stuffing them in. Like I just put a trash bag below me, so it just like crumbs and stuff. And then just wrap it up. Everything's good. Yes, that is exactly what I hope to be doing for the remainder of the break too.
It's an
Yeah.
excellent way to celebrate
Monday.
the holiday season.
Monday's
I'm
cookie
into it.
day. I'm excited.
That's great.
How about eggnog? That's my favorite. I that was
Eggnog is
immediately I'm like,
polarizing.
let
Very
me just
polarizing.
get a big fattening mug of eggnog. That is my jam. And of course, it's like the one thing with like the most calories because you can drink it. It's like a Christmas milkshake, basically. It's so good. Ugh.
Hot
I'm
take.
trying to remember
Eggnog is
what.
nasty.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember what it tastes like, and I just keep thinking about snot, and I don't. Yeah, I don't have good memories of eggnog.
Will not
And
stand,
I
man.
don't.
This aggression against eggnog will not stand.
I mean, the thing, Elspeth, that's really confusing to me is that I love eggs, but it's called eggnog and it's fucking nasty. And so it should just be called bad nog. I don't know. It's like it's
wait, why?
because it's like the one
Which
thing
I'm
with
offended.
eggs in the name that doesn't do it for me. I don't.
How does one nog an egg exactly?
But it's supposed to.
What does it taste like?
It's like a milkshake.
Not
Oh,
like eggs.
Of course, it doesn't taste like eggs because eggs have to give it. I'm saying eggs. God, I'm so Midwestern. The eggs give it the consistency.
Eggs.
Yeah,
Eggs.
AYGG. Egg.
Eggs.
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 I can't fight about this. I'm heartbroken, Marcus. I'm done.
I just eggnog has never been my thing.
Like,
It's like
it sounds
pumpkin
like it
pie.
should be
It's the
good.
same.
It should be.
Yeah.
It sounds like it should be good because if you read the recipe, it just sounds like cake. It sounds like liquid cake. It's milk, cream, sugar, whipped egg whites, and egg yolks.
Yes.
So it sounds like it should be good, but then you drink a glass of it and you're like, "This is ass flavored Soylent." I don't understand.
It's
Thank
so
you.
good.
I know.
though.
I know. I just.
Nutmeg, it's delicious. And if you want to, get a little tipsy, you can put some alcohol in there. You can put some rum. You can put some whiskey.
Yeah.
Or you can just
I would
drink that
rather
shit
not-
straight up, and then you don't
I
have
was
to
waiting-
drink
I was
the
waiting
eggnog
for that.
part of it. You
I
know,
was waiting for it. I knew
Yeah.
it was coming.
God,
Yeah.
you eat
Yeah.
ranch.
I will
too?
say.
What kind of Midwestern are you?
I will say as a counterpoint, mulled wine is totally sick. If you haven't had that, and if you like want a Christmas beverage that'll fuck you up, yeah, mulled
I
wine
was
is great.
talking about mulled wine yesterday on stream, and I was
Great.
like,
it's
I
really
thought,
good.
I thought my friend was saying moldy wine, and I'm like, moldy
Mulled wine.
Interesting. Okay. Here
I
I
can get
am,
behind mulled wine.
like I like
Traditional
eggnog.
gnomish beverage. Yeah, just grow it on the underside of a rock, and then just you're good
Lord.
to go. Yeah,
Lord D.
yeah. Yeah.
Eggnog.
I don't know. Now I'm thinking about what is the smallest eggnog you can buy? Like, just do they sell them in like little
Something like quarts, dude.
containers?
Like you can get like a little guy.
I don't know how much a
just
quart
buy-
is. Can you please
just
use a
buy
measurement?
an-
Like I can't honestly. If somebody showed me, if this was that scene from Indiana Jones, and they were like, "Here are a bunch of drinking vessels. If you choose the one that's a quart, you will live forever. If you choose the wrong one, you'll die."
Isn't
And I'm
a
like,
real
no, I'm
measurement.
from Canada. I couldn't
That's
figure
not
it out.
a real
no,
measurement.
Elspeth, you have to do it in kilometers. You have to tell them in kilometers.
It's in pints.
It's pronounced
Pint.
kilometers.
I'm not here for your freaking fairy measurements, okay, bud? You're back and forth.
Like a quart of what?
It's a
A
boot.
dram of eggnog is 2 hay pennies
A boot.
today.
A boot.
Wow.
A tall hat of eggnog.
Tall hat, right? It's just a gnome's glove of eggnog.
No,
Gnome's glove.
no, a gnome's glove is much smaller than a quart.
I'm pretty sure gnome's glove is the thing that you pick in the forest if you want to get high. So
Fox.
not quite.
Oh man.
Yeah, me and my family were going out to the woods to pick gnome's glove, and then I'm not going to be conscious until next year. So that's my holiday plan, just gnome's glove for everybody.
Good family bonding.
God.
Yeah, and I love watching chat try to explain it without just explaining to me that it's in milliliters or liters. Like it's like this much of a quart, and there's this many pints in it, and I'm like, I don't know.
Quart
It's
or
fine.
gallon. Someone's putting milliliters in there. Pat Brannigan's doing you a service.
There you go. There you go. Now I understand. It's still too much. I don't want a liter of eggnog either. I don't want any amount. X amount of eggnog is too much. It's fine.
I just want one egg.
Just like a whole egg,
Okay.
just to drink it.
Well, that's
So you're
very
like what 1/12 of a
everybody.
Gaston?
It's one egg.
I would like an egg.
Just
So you got
egg.
cookies, Yorkshire pudding, eggnog, and then your answer to favorite holiday food: one whole egg.
One egg.
One egg, 5 handfuls of shame, and then like a sprinkling of familial guilt, and then we're good to go.
Oh, that's
Yummy.
that a side
Good
dish at
Christmas
every
recipe.
holiday get together.
Mm.
That's my favorite deviled egg recipe.
I have thankfully, or maybe sadly, it'll depend, but I've reached the age where my parents, being old white people, now during the holidays fly somewhere hot and leave me alone during the holiday season. So I'm with you, Mark. I don't generally do anything, but as a person that lives in the world, I'm constantly like, it's Christmas. Look at all this
Bombarded.
Christmas stuff. Watch these Christmas movies.
What are you doing
have
for the
Christmas
holidays?
feelings.
What are you doing for Christmas? Nothing.
Humbug. That's what I say.
I think I'll be
Wow.
streaming.
Yeah, right. That's the thing. Yeah. Well, this is the part of the show where I get to make JP really nervous because I recorded the audio for a recap, and I saw in chat that he had not finished the recap, that it was not ready for the episode. So this is the part where I say, JP, run the. Oh, you can't. That's okay though. That's fine.
Well, maybe if he just like
I will
put a
improvise
black
the
and
recap.
white filter over it and then played your audio, and then we could just like fake.
Oh, we can
with,
pretend
you
like we're
know,
from a different episode. Okay, everybody go
Yeah.
change your shirt.
Okay. Stand by.
I feel like that would work.
Yeah, exactly. Stand by, sudden
Mark
wardrobe
just
change.
ripped his shirt off in front of everybody.
If that is what you did, if that was the first thing you could think of, Mark, that would be perfect. Like, oh god.
I don't know what to do. He pulls all his clothes off. You're like,
Verona
did
episode,
everybody,
season 2, episode 10, the one where Mark ripped his shirt off.
did everybody growing up, or was this just me, have a friend that, or have like, it was like my little brother's friend, but every time they went to the bathroom, they had to take all their clothes off. So it would take
No,
them
but
like
this
an
is
hour.
fascinating. What is
No.
what like is
What the
No one
hell?
knows
what happens in life where it's like, well, I need to take a piss. All
Like,
right, let
I
me just
feel like
Get naked.
You
they
know,
must have been
you know-
taught that, or
I did have
like
a
it's
friend
some
who
sort
was
of
like-
erotic.
he would take a picture every time and he'd be like, look at what I did. I'm like, why are you showing me this, dude? Like, I don't
that's
care.
You've obviously never been in love, Elspeth, and
I'm
that's
not so sure.
So, just for everyone keeping track, does this count as Vana talking about poop in this episode or no?
No,
'Cause
Elspeth
I'm
talked
keeping a
about
tally.
poop. Elspeth not talking about poop. It wasn't me.
So Vanna, I know that it sounds like a ludicrous thing that you just made up, but I will back you up on this. I didn't know anybody who did that, but one time when I was in high school, I went to go to the bathroom and I walked in and someone was standing at the urinals with their back to me because they were standing in the urinals, just totally naked, just completely naked, just
Pants
being in
down
the urinal,
and,
nude, just like everything off,
Were
like in
there
a pile
clothes?
on the counter.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, you know one of those people some distantly.
I never stuck around long enough to figure out whose
Whoa,
butt I had
what
just
if
seen.
It was
very
what
much.
if it was the same guy? What if it was the
No,
same guy?
it was a Grandpa Simpson. I just went right in and right back out. I was like, that's cool. I'll go to the other bathroom. But yeah, this person was just standing there, like, and they had taken their clothes off and folded them and put them on the counter next to their boots.
Can I bring up something poop related?
Bold move.
To save Vanna?
Somebody's got to.
God,
okay.
please.
So as I've been shopping, which is also the period of time where I'm typically at stores more, there are an extraordinary number of like poop related toys, and I didn't realize that like poop had become popular in sort of the toy department. Where I mean, if you literally look up like poop toys, it's like Hasbro now makes a catch the poop game, and I'm just like,
do not
what?
Google poop toys, please. Do not do
Oh
that.
yeah, okay.
Don't listen to Marcus.
Do that. No.
Also,
but I don't
wait,
get it.
I have to point out, I love that you started this story with when I was in the store, which is where I am when I go shopping. Yes, same, big same.
Hey, I could
but
have
you're
been.
Right, JP posts about these poop toys all the time. I don't understand.
I could have been, at home on the online store. It's possible. It's just I don't know. It's like
More likely than you think.
I'm not looking up poop toys when I'm on Amazon, but like I can't help but see like why are there all these? There's squishy poop toys, and then there's the like ring toss poop toys, and I just don't. Is it really just because of the poop emoji? Is that it? Like
that's the poop emoji. But also, I think when I was growing up, before emojis even existed, if you can imagine a time, I think like farts were a big thing. Like it was.
Oh, they still are, Vanna. They still are. Like you could still get a whoopee cushion.
Nothing is funnier than a fart. A really well-timed comedy fart is
just
still the
love,
funniest thing
I feel like we should all be in our 80s having this
Great
conversation. When I was a boy, everybody loved a good fart.
Yep.
Oh,
will
boy.
always be a timeless classic. The fart.
Who doesn't love a
Poop
good
emoji.
fart?
Feel like it's gonna be out pretty soon.
Right, the emoji will come and go, but the amusement of the fart is still true. I can see that. Yeah,
exactly.
You're gonna be like on your deathbed, going any day now. That poop emoji is gonna be out.
Yes, that is exactly what I'll be saying. I've already written my memoirs, and there's a whole 3 chapters on the poop emoji.
Today I learned djWheat, enemy of the poop emoji.
And
I just don't get it.
Enemy of the poople, if you will.
The poople.
Good one. It's nice. Good. I don't want to do the show anymore. JP, can we just?
Dude, this is why Van is so great because she laughs at all my shitty jokes. Literally,
it's just the delivery on it. You're so proud of yourself
for today.
Beth is so proud of herself with those jokes where she's just like, the poople, if you will.
Nothing is funnier than a joke that's not funny, whose person delivering it thinks it's really funny. That's what does it.
That's a funny joke. Y'all are haters.
Well, at least I can do this episode today knowing that no matter what I do, I was not the one that ruined it. So
oh my
it's a
God.
nice feeling. Thank you for that. I'm always anxious. Wow. Like, what am I going to say? Ruin the episode today, but it's ruined already. Cool. Thank you for that, everybody. Anybody have any other poop related news? How are we on Poop Watch 2019? Good. Anyone else?
I'm crying.
Feelings. God, this would be a great place to run a recap. Boy, I wish we had one of those.
Oh my god.
Can you just read the
having
recap
flash-
for us, Adam?
I was gonna say, well, I could if I still had the text file that I used as my script for the recap, but
Well, you just deleted that shit. Like, fuck it, I don't need this anymore.
well, the thing is, let me check my recycling bin. Nope, nothing
What?
in the old recycle bin.
You're
here.
not a data
What?
holder. You just don't
Yeah.
keep
No.
everything.
I save
No.
everything.
I save everything.
No.
Same.
A little known fact: if you're a fan of Swan Song, you'll already know this. But Marcus has the dubious honor of being the person who I don't think I ever saw him leave that Roll20 game. Like, how many tabs do you have open right now, Wheat?
Hold on. Watch this. Watch this. Hold on. I'm gonna do this real quick. What? No, this is for real. You got to see this because it's a lot. It's a
How are you
fucking
gonna
lot.
show us what's happening?
Because I can do this. Bam. See all these
Whoa.
tabs? Look at that. Tabs. Oh, you can't even see that one. Let me bring that down. Look at that one. Look at all those tabs.
Oh, you have
Come
multiple
and all
on.
browser
those
windows.
Tabs.
Good.
And then
What
there
is
you go.
this?
There you go.
Oh, this is horrible.
What do you mean?
What? How can you live like that?
I'm very
It's like looking at a
organized.
hoarder's house.
What?
Like a hoarder's
very-
house.
I'm very organized.
I am. I could find if you were like,
Let's go
can you find me that
bookmark,
exact
maniac.
COE
Jesus
trade or you're
Christ.
looking for a Call of the Brother? It's like, yep, it's right there. Can you find yep, it's right there. Can you find the tracking number to that one package that should be here by Monday? Yep, it's right there. Like
You are
I don't
literally
know.
a hoarder. You're a hoarder. That's wild.
I shudder to think what this man's desktop looks like.
what? My desktop's not that bad.
Yeah.
Look,
Yeah.
see, this is
Says the
my
hoarder.
desktop's not
This
bad.
is making me so nervous.
Right?
Okay.
Wait,
It's
Oh, I
a
love-
it's
I
a
love
Swan
that.
Song. It's not that
I
bad.
love that fan art.
Look,
Oh,
I do
that's so
too.
good.
I do too. There we go.
Good. That is good.
But now I
Oh, that made-
minimized all my
That made
windows.
it all.
I got
That made it all worthwhile. That was a roller coaster. I was very upset at how many tabs you had open, and then I got to see that fan art again. That made me happy. So okay, good. Good. We did it. We've come all the way around. Nicely
good.
done. Thank you, Marcus. I mean, we could do this for another 2.5 hours, but I'm pretty sure everybody showed up to watch us play a role playing game. So maybe we should do
don't
that.
know.
Should we do that thing?
Did they?
Did they really though?
I think they did. Yeah. Yeah, I had a recap, but it didn't get finished. That's okay. We can post it on the internet later. The important bits from the last episode, as far as I remember it, and from these excellent notes that I have, are that at the beginning there was the beginning of the last episode there was a sort of teaser of somebody arriving on the planet on a transport and looking for either Haley or someone who looks just like Haley. They were carrying around an ad, and they've been searching for that same ad that Haley had, and they've been searching around in the marketplace and throughout the city. So we saw that at the beginning. Most of the episode last time revolved around deciding kind of what to do next, right? We had several conversations about your characters being out of immediate danger, but still like living in this safe house and trying to figure out if it's all that safe in the first place, right? Because you have your new friend Hugh, who has been feeding and taking care of you. But because you're PCs in a role-playing game, you suspect him of some kind of foul play. You just haven't figured out what it is yet. So there was that. Johnny played us a little song on the acoustic guitar, which was very nice. And I think the main action of the last episode was Autumn explaining Landra's deal, being like, this is my sister. This is what she was good at. I think she would be useful to our cause. Also, I don't know where she is and would like to get her back. So that is something that we talked about. And I think that we as a group, we kind of decided at the end that would be something that was on kind of the priority list, was kind of focusing on finding Landra. And to that end, you were going to go back to the docking bay, I think, and look to see if anyone matching her description had come or gone from the port as it stands.
Yeah.
So that was something that was on the list. Also, Autumn was in
Medicine?
need of some medicine. That's right. So Autumn's MES was going to cause bad brain problems if Autumn didn't get a hold of some more medicine. And so off you went to the pharmacy, where you browbeat a young man named Ernesto into becoming a drug manufacturer for you. Which is always a good call when you meet someone new for the first time. Autumn, in true Eridanus fashion, saw an opportunity for some profit, and now you are making drugs, I guess. We haven't really talked about the
drugs.
Yeah,
Drugs?
they're good. They're good drugs. Yeah, they're the best drugs. I'm not sure what the like distribution method is for these drugs. Like, I guess Ernesto is both manufacturing them and selling them under the counter to his clients for now. So that's happening. You've either just made Ernesto's life a lot better or much worse, depending on how this goes.
Probably the latter.
And at the end of the episode, kind of where we landed was there are options for you guys to go talk to the comptroller of the docking bay, see if you can find out about Landra. And then also there's this great weight around everyone's proverbial neck named Christine. And she is still currently under a psionically induced medical coma. So she is asleep because of the work of Autumn's psionic abilities. And and so she is she's unconscious right now. But the question becomes like, do we bring her back and see if she's okay? Like, do you let her out of the coma, or should we go and find a person that can fix palimpsest syndrome, or at least do something about it? So lots of options before you in terms of stuff that you can do. I think though that when we begin this episode, we fade in to the sounds of bells in the air. There is a gentle snow falling on Pilgrim's Gate. And all throughout Pilgrim's Gate, we see young and old raising decorations. We see someone hanging a repentance wreath on the front door. We see waves of joy and good cheer from one person to another as the festival of repentance has begun in Pilgrim's Rest. So there's all kind of festivities that are being prepared, and there are signs being put up, and this is what we see. And so maybe we see the group of you standing as we fade in on you. We see you all standing around a like an ice skating rink, right? There's an area in the middle of town, a park that has got a pond that they have frozen over, and there are people skating around on the pond. Autumn, do you want to describe Autumn's winter outfit for us? In fact, let's get winter outfits from everyone, so we can see how everybody is dressed on this beautiful Repentance Day festival. Go ahead, Mark. Tell us what your character looks like. Right. Holiday mode.
You got to imagine, take your kind of LA college girl gone skiing vibe, right? So we've got like the white puffy jacket with the furry collar. We got the white earmuffs, the dark and gold hair just kind of loose, like a pair of like thermal kind of like yoga pants, but they're extra like warm, and then a big pair of Uggs, and then spacey it up, then make it Verona spacey.
Yeah, right. They're Uggs, but they leave hexagon-shaped footprints because sci-fi.
They're space.
Right. Yeah. Good.
But yeah, very sort of sorority girl on ski trip vibe.
Yeah, I love it. Okay, cool. And so we see you, and what is Autumn? What is the look on Autumn's face when we see you? Are you like rosy cheeked and sparkly eyed at the like love and goodwill going around here in Pilgrim's Rest?
Yeah, I think that there is a kind of like, there's a wistful kind of like rosy cheeks, but kind of looking at it, and there's like a smile, but it's kind of a sad smile as well, because it's kind of like I wish I was at home with my family and they weren't arrested
Oh, it's
for
so sad
harboring
because the
space
true meaning
criminals.
of the
Yeah.
Repentance Festival is that you repent with your family. Oh,
Yeah.
we jumped right to the end
But-
already. Okay. So there's
Yeah.
a bit of wistfulness in
Yeah.
Autumn's sparkling eyes in this winter season, and there's little snowflakes drifting down and catching for a moment in your eyelashes before melting. And as we pan over, I think Haley, you're
Heresy.
probably standing next to Autumn. How is Haley dressed?
Okay,
In
I'll
this
describe it, but
in
I
this
also
chilly
have
day.
I have a direct link.
So what's great is that all of this equipment, all this
That's
winter
so
gear you
long.
found,
I'm so sorry.
all of this stuff came from it came from like a surplus store, like a winter clothing supply store, and it's all old. Oh my god, I love it. Perfect.
So sorry, JP. I didn't mean that link to be 2 kilometers long.
Barry's got it. Barry's got it.
You can
Beautiful.
delete mine, JP. Delete mine. Oh my god. I'm so uncomfortable. So it's like a little coat dress, a long sleeve, and then she has like a headpiece tied on that has like built-in like little earmuffs, but it's tied off in a bow under her chin, and then she has like a faux fur muff that her little hands are in, and there's little baubles hanging off the tie that brings her waist in for the coat, and then she's got on her little fuzzy winter boots.
Oh,
Nice. Yeah.
yay.
Giving off a very like Cindy Lou Who meets
Yeah.
Princess Anastasia in the like winter of 1916. Like this kid doesn't know how bad it's gonna get. But for now, Haley, you look very very bundled up, and lots of places in this outfit to hide sharp objects, grenades, pistols, and what have you. I assume you have your gun with you somewhere under all of this fluff.
Always. There's so many places to hide it in the fluff.
So Haley, what is your reaction to the festivities that are going on? You're all standing beside this skating rink, and there's lots of people laughing and skating, and nobody's started singing carols yet, but it's getting pretty close.
I think it honestly might be a little triggering for her.
Mm-hmm.
Like I
Oh.
feel like she's probably done like a ton of these like holiday movies, like theme movies, and it's all sort of like coming back in like flashes in her memory banks, and it's like it's that weird juxtapose of like in the movies everything was happy and all the family was good and nice, but then it was like as soon as the camera cut it was like abuse and misconduct and things like that. So it's sort of she's sort of just wide-eyed, just like waiting for someone to like shove her in a closet or something, or force her to sit on an ice block.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so Haley looking somewhat more nervous than Autumn, and so we continue to pan across, and Yasna, what about you? What do we see? What's winter holiday Yasna
So
look like and doing?
I think Yasna's like actually just wearing her, normal sort of black, dark, gray, whatever it is, combat suit. But then she's wearing this like if you've seen A Christmas Story, remember Ralphie, and he was in like that giant like kind of plushy. You guys, Ralphie, remember he like couldn't move it. So it's a giant coat like that just makes me appear like really broad shoulders, and it's actually a little bit hard to move around, and it's all they had, but I didn't want to change my whole outfit. And then what you didn't see in between episodes was that Autumn did one long braid of my hair, and it has like tinsel and a couple of like festive balls in
Oh,
it.
I love it. Little plastic mistletoe like ring there. Yeah. Awesome.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, I figure you and Hidil both are like having a very techwear Christmas, and that you're both kind of standing in your like tactical holiday attire at the back, like just looking at everybody like I'm here, and that's all you're gonna get. Yeah, I like that. And so for Yasna, is it her usual kind of like on alert, like intense face, or is there another? Do we learn more of how you feel
It's
about
like
the holiday
imagine the
season?
on alert intent face, but also like fuck, it's cold. Like, but trying not to
It
show that
really
you're like I'm
is.
super cold. So it might look, yeah, it probably looks really weird if anyone's like just stay away from her. She might be a little, I don't know. But yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Excellent. And then lastly, Johnny, when you worked in your original purpose, like I imagine there were holiday events at the bar. Did they decorate you like a tree, or like did you have a special uniform that you had to wear, or like what was
Um,
Johnny's part in, or did you work in a bar where everyone was really sad and it wasn't like it was just like people would come here to avoid the holidays?
I'd say it was probably a little bit of both, where it was just they tried their best for the holidays, but it ended up looking a little sad. So like they have a tree, but it's a little droopy. They kind of like haphazardly decorated it, and some of the ornaments are falling off. One year, someone stepped on an ornament, and they it was bad. It was really bloody. And Johnny had to clean all that up. So he wears this tuxedo, right? But this thing is like shredded. Like it looks very old. It's got like just like the everything that you'd think a tuxedo is supposed to look like. This just looks, it's so worn out that it looks brown. Like it used to be black, but now it's just like faded. But he's got like his baseball cap on. He's trying to look his best. He's even got like little reading glasses that he found somewhere because he thinks it makes him looks like more sophisticated. And then
Yeah, right. Erudite. Sure.
for some reason, erudite. He's got on socks, but like they're argyle socks, and he's got them pulled up to his knees, but he tucks the pants into them, and he doesn't know why he does this, but he saw this look somewhere, and he was just like, "That's what I'm gonna do for my look." And he just thinks that
Very
argyle socks,
nice.
that's the holiday spirit is argyle. And then for his shoes, I think he's just wearing like just basic like crappy black faux leather shoes. But he's trying his best. He's really trying his best. So a lot of it is just old stuff, just like
Mhm.
Jack.
And you're not, I mean, your sensors are capable of registering that it is cold. And you know that if you were to stay out in this temperature for a certain amount of time, then your like hydraulic systems would start to freeze. But you're not cold in the same way like Yasna is cold. Like you're aware of the cold. Do you simulate it at all? Like does Johnny have like an artificial like shivering protocol that you use? Or are you just standing there like a robot in the snow?
Um, well, here's the thing. If I really think about it, I don't think he would have a mechanism like that because he was
Mhm.
built to be comforting, built to be indoors, and built to be
Yeah.
working and not necessarily like shivering, right? So when he's outside and it's cold and he's moving boxes into the bar, he's not going to be shivering. He's going to be
Mm.
doing his job. No one would think that far ahead to program a toaster to be shivering. So I think he would just be standing there. Like he would be registering that it's cold, but I don't think that he would have any like teeth chattering or anything. He
Mhm.
might do his best to like try and warm other people, even though at this point he's just kind of like a refrigerator cold. It would be
Well, again,
like,
It makes
can you
it
make
worse.
I was gonna say, can you like make your hands warm and then like touch people
Ooh.
to warm them up? Like, do you have little heaters built in? Because we talked a
I
little
don't,
bit about some of your like bartender functionality
yeah.
before.
Um, maybe because we did say that like he had the ability to make drinks cold.
Yeah,
I'm
well,
not
and
sure.
you generate waste heat, right? Because you're a
Mm,
machine. So
yeah.
like your systems generate heat anyway.
Yeah, I suppose he could do that. If he were asked. If someone was like, "Hey,
So
Johnny, can you like, warm me up a little bit,
if
buddy?"
Haley were freezing, you could pick her up and like open your chest cavity and hold her against your still
Oh
warm
my
batteries
God,
to
you're
keep
my
her from freezing.
tauntaun. You're my tauntaun.
Yeah,
And I
man.
thought they
Yeah,
smelled
really.
bad on the
On the
outside.
outside.
Right. To
Lord.
Johnny's point, in all fairness to Johnny doesn't really smell like anything, I guess, except like metal and chemicals
Well,
Right.
unless
sometimes.
Johnny's like wearing something that smells.
That's true. Yeah.
Right.
I
He's
imagine that you have several selections of very, very old cologne smells that you
Yes.
can emit, Johnny. Yeah.
What are
Yeah,
they
there's
called? What are the
there's
names of
this
the
one
cologne?
cologne. This one cologne that's called the Stallone cologne, where you basically it's got like a little horse on it, and
That one's
but it's
actually making a comeback. A lot of people into the horse smell these days.
right. So it's like a racing horse logo, right? And you're like, oh, that's the Stallone cologne. That's the one that I need for Christmas for my 12-year-old son. And so Johnny was like, I really need this. I need this cologne. I need something to make me smell good.
Yeah.
In my effort to be human. So so yeah, he's got this
Well,
cologne.
the weird thing is that the word Stallone and the word stallion may well have become one word this far away from like Earth. So you may think that like, a big strong horse, a Stallone, right? Like
Right.
that's just the word you could. Yeah, weird, man. Language is strange.
The first thing that like that's funny that you say that because the first thing that I thought of was like horse, and then kind of like a what's the word? Not portmanteau, where it's like you mash up the word and then it starts to mean something else. Where it's obviously like, oh, it's maybe Sylvester Stallone, but no one knows who the fuck that is. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's just Italian.
Yeah, it's an Italian horse.
Yep.
I like
Exactly.
it. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So everybody is standing around and watching the various Christmas festivities. When you hear down the street, you hear the sound of a loud bell ringing, and you can hear singing at a distance, such that you can't make out what is being sung. But you can hear a big crowd singing, and it's getting like louder. And the people skating, they start to stop in surprise and excitement, and they all rush to the edge to like take their skates off and run over to the main street to see what is about to happen, what's coming. And so the whole crowd kind of goes away from where you are, and they head towards this like main avenue. Do you follow, or do you stay back here?
I think Johnny will go with the group. He will. I think where Haley
Mhm.
goes actually, because he's more concerned about Haley in any strange environment. He's just like, don't know.
This is
Haley's just like frozen, like she's having like sort of a malfunction. Like,
Poor Haley. That's how I feel about Christmas all the time too.
this is all like Church of Repentance stuff, though, right, Adam? So this is actually pretty heretical, right? Like I'd be like,
so this is the thing. It's Christmas on a planet where they do things just a little bit different. They have forgotten to keep the Messiah in this holiday. Normally, I imagine the end of the year holiday amongst the church proper, right? The high church is a lot more ceremonial. It's a lot more Catholic feeling, in the sense that you would go to your golden cathedral and you would pray to the emperor for good health in the new year, etc. But yeah, this is different. You're on a different planet that has its own strange, kind of sad religious practices. But everybody seems very excited about whatever this Repentance Day parade is about. So they all rush over to see. But yeah, Autumn, I imagine it would be a little weird for you.
a bit weird. But it does look like it's like thinning out the crowds, right? Like there's more people are going over to this parade and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So I might like look at Yasna and just kind of maybe just kind of comment of like, if nothing else, it does look like this is maybe a good distraction for trying to go to wherever we need to go. Seems people are pretty busy with this holiday, so
Yeah, perhaps we could just use the cover of like, do we know the route of this parade? Could we use the parade as a cover to get to the docking bay or medicine for?
Yeah. So like, there are more people in town today than normal because they've come for the parade. They've come to visit their relatives for Repentance Day. So the population of the town has swelled, but they're all clustered around like the various like churches in town, the parade route. Yeah, it's shifted where the crowds are. So if you're trying to go about like regular business, this is an opportunity for sure.
Okay. Yeah. I say to Autumn like, Yes, I think we use the parade for cover and make it to the docking bay.
Yeah, sounds good. I've got my medicine. I've got my medicine, didn't I, Adam? We because I made it with the
That's
station
right.
last time, and then we left him make it. We left Ernesty making new special drugs.
My impression with Ernesto was like the first transaction was you got a supply of MES medication, and then you were like, "I'll be back for my money, Ernesto," and then you left.
Yeah, you fucking better sell this new designer drug I've made, and then I'll be back for my cut. You.
Where's my money, Ernesto? You have to go to his house. Pee on
I am
his
the
rug.
one.
It's a whole
I'm the
thing.
one who kind of awkwardly knocks, and then that's
right. Autumn is the one
Autumn's
who
thing.
knocks and then apologizes for knocking so loud.
Awkwardly knocks. Yeah.
Yeah. So within a few minutes, the aside from a few undexterous scramblers, everybody's got their skates off and they've run over to watch the parade. There's some kind of like toaster analog who is like taking the skates and spraying them down and putting them on the shelf over at the side. And otherwise, very quickly, the whole little area, the whole little pond clears out and there's nobody around. The sounds of caroling get louder as the parade continues to approach.
So how far is it?
Vana, you just made a face like I said, the sound of orcish drums in the deep grows louder. Like, it's cool. It's not Sauron. It's just Santa Claus. So, yeah. So what do you want to do?
Do we
wait here and then start walking with them? You know, act like we're I don't know, we're singing. Anyone know any songs? I do.
Singing Christmas songs?
Well,
Yeah.
don't you have to sing the songs they are singing? It seems awkward
Oh,
if you
you-
are singing a different song than what they
You
are
just make
singing.
it up. Just make it up as you go along. I mean, no one's gonna hear you, right?
Sure. How far is the parade from us?
Oh, not far. Like a few minutes. If you just stand, you'll see any of the tops of like floats or whatever as they come by. But there's a big crowd that's gathered like half a block away, just outside of where you're at.
And we have the map, right? So we know actually we've been to the
Yeah,
docking
you have a
bay,
pretty
so we
good
know.
handle, if not in practice, but in theory, you have a pretty good handle on where things are in Pilgrim's Rest. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, let's do that. Let's use the guise of the parade to make our way to the docking bay.
All right. So you want to head over towards the parade, or are you going to use the parade as a distraction and head to the docking bay instead?
I guess the question is the parade on the route to the docking bay?
Yeah, it goes right through town.
Great.
And so there's a point at which you could slip out of the crowd and into the.
Yeah, so we'll move with the parade. That sound good, everyone?
All right. Yeah. So with you, Yasna, you in the lead, and Hadil in the back to kind of make sure nobody gets lost. No, there's no danger. The two of you lead the group towards the edge, kind of like pushing your way through the crowd. And it seems like most of the people in this crowd they're either and I guess maybe you see them handing out. You see like a mother with a basket, and she's handing out what look like tomatoes to everybody, like in her family. He's like, here you go, Jimmy. Here you go, Ahmed. Here you go, Sarah. Like and handing out these little tomatoes, and the kids are super excited. Now they're not taking them and eating them; they're just clutching them eagerly as the parade comes closer. Now, when you sort of shove your way through the crowd to get to the edge of the parade, you look and you see what at first looks like some kind of horrific monster before you realize that it is a person in a costume. They're on stilts. So they're wearing kind of this tall, like backwards bending leg, like hairy costume. Almost looks like a big lanky Sasquatch. But on top of its head, it has like a long snout, and on top of its head, there's a rack of antlers. And then on the front of its snout, it has instead of its nose, it has a reddish like, sphere that is pulsing with baleful light. And around his neck, around this creature's neck, there are signs hanging, right? They've been written on in paint, and they say like sin and unfriendliness and uncharitableness. And so they have this like necklace of bad human behaviors. And up front, in front of them, you see a man dressed in a red tunic with red pants and shiny black boots. And he's got a beard that obviously isn't his beard. He's just like got it put on, and he's got a hat. And he's got a megaphone, and he's up in front of the crowd, and he starts saying into the megaphone, like, "All right, children, get your tomatoes ready, because here comes Rudolph the repentant reindeer." And they're all like, "Yay!" And so Rudolph, his head hanging low, with shame at his naughtiness, approaches the crowd, and up front, a young girl, not much older looking than Haley, steps forward, and from her coat produces a big, thick, juicy tomato, and she shouts, "Sin is bad, Rudolph," and she hurls the tomato, and it flies through the snowy sky in a beautiful arc and splatters against the furry side of this creature, who stumbles sideways a little bit, and then everybody just starts like shouting with joy, and they start yelling the various sins that they are attempting to cast out, right? So some woman says, I want to accept my son's choices," and hurls the tomato. And the little kid is like, "I want to stop fighting with my sister," throws a tomato. And so pretty soon, this reindeer thing, this minotaur, is covered in dripping tomato, and is sort of staggering through the street. And everybody's cheering. And as he goes by, people come running in behind and join the parade. So there are kids like singing and clapping, and they're all singing a holiday hymn about punishment and repentance and turning your back on the evil of the year. And so all these people like rush out into the street cheering and singing, and they're all singing along. And somebody in a building up above throws open their shutters, realizing that they've almost missed Repentance Day, and they wave to all the children. And so in all of this chaos, it would be very easy for the group of you to sort of slip into the crowd and follow their heretical parade, wherever it may lead.
Adam, I this is really hard to contain, but like I want to throw a tomato at this thing really fucking bad.
Yeah.
If
Okay.
anything, because I think I get to use an athletics check, and I really think I can fucking.
I see. So Yasna,
You're gonna
Yasna's
miss.
about to
You're
do
gonna
that.
miss.
Yasna's about to do that thing where everybody's doing karaoke, and Yasna's like, "No one in this room knows that I have classical theater training. Here we go. I'm gonna destroy these nerds." And then you just do all of Bohemian Rhapsody by yourself, and everybody's like, "Cool, way to buzzkill." All right, Yasna, professional grenade thrower. Let's see. Is your intent to just hit the target, or do you want to like impress everybody with your tomato throwing?
Oh, I just want to throw just a fastball right to his.
I think you have to
noggin.
yell one of your sins you're repenting for, or you don't get to throw it.
Definitely.
Sure.
I'm just thinking about.
Okay,
I'm thinking about what's the name
I
of that
will.
movie where the kid is on a baseball team and he sucks and he falls and like hurts his arm, and then all of a sudden he's like the greatest pitcher in the world.
Angels
He
in
can
the
throw-
outfield, Adam.
Is it Angels in the Outfield? Is that what it's called?
Dude,
Illegal.
Angels in the outfield, Adam.
Illegal
No, actually, that's
zone.
not right. That's
It's
not
Rookie
right.
of the Year, right?
It's Rookie of the Year. Shit, I just
Yeah, I
wanted
just
to
think
fucking
about
do the
Yasna.
Angels in the outfield. Fucking
Great movie, though.
I just
Angels-
think of Yasna as doing that with the tomato, like taking it and just whack, boom, and throwing it like a howitzer. All right,
Marcus,
well let's
that was so
let's see what
indignant for
happens.
being so wrong. Wow.
That's the best kind of wrongness.
Hey, I had a
the
50-50
best kind.
chance, man, between those two movies, and I failed. So
Wow.
that means I'm gonna not fail on this throw. you know.
You're like a kid in
Mhm.
King Arthur's court. That's the name of the movie. So, all right. So there is a woman dressed in the winter equivalent of like church garb. You see a few of them throughout the crowd, right? Dressed in these winter robes. Some of them have hoods up, some of them don't, and they're all carrying baskets of I guess repentance tomatoes. And one of them sees your eagerness, Yasna, and comes over, and she holds out the basket, and she says, "A tomato for your sins."
I just don't even say anything to her. I just grab the tomato. I'm like eyeballing this fucking horrendous reindeer thing.
I can't help but imagine this scene in Terminator Vision where like everything is red and black and you just see Rudolph with a target reticle on him. Okay, all right. So target is acquired. So yeah, so you just want to bean this dude with a tomato?
That's right, Adam.
All right. Okay.
That's right.
I do.
Well, it's a missile attack, so it's at two purple difficulty, and I think it's athletics in this case for throwing something.
Okay.
And if you get good shapes, Yasna, what do you get? What is your like reward for succeeding at this action?
Isn't the reward just watching the tomato just
Yes,
it
certainly
I don't know,
could be.
maybe
Yeah.
knock him down. I don't know. Like let's
It
roll.
certainly
Let's
would be
find out.
funny. Okay, all right. Would you like to spend a story point on this?
I would not like to spend a story point on this.
Okay, I would in the spirit of the season. So in the difficulty, put 2 purple and put one upgrade on the bad shape side. And then go
Cool.
ahead and roll your athletics.
I don't need your story point.
You're being
I just really
bad
want you to get a
today,
despair.
Marcus.
That's what I'm really hoping for.
We'll
I'm
see
really
how this
hoping
plays
you
out.
fail.
All right. Well, maybe I won't repent for my sin then.
Yeah,
So
and I guess that's the other question. Do you say anything before you, like even under your breath to yourself, or do you just ignore the ritual and hurl the tomato as hard as you can?
no, I would say something.
Okay. Does the
Um,
can do we hear it, or is it like the ending of Lost in Translation situation where you whisper it? But
No, it's I wouldn't want to anger the world by doing that, like that movie did. Although it would create years of debate on what was actually said. So I think it's something about as she is like Yasna winds back, she's like, don't teach little girls to shoot guns. And then she tosses it as
Not a
fucking
little
fast as she
girl.
but I don't have my
Oh.
roll 20 up. I have no idea what I just did.
No.
You did
You got
fine, sweetie.
you got some advantage. You missed. You throw it at Rudolph, and at the last minute, Rudolph the repentant reindeer turns to bend down to talk to a little kid. The tomato sails over his head and splatters on a wall somewhere. And it's still very reassuring for you. There's something cathartic about throwing a tomato at a giant pretend reindeer monster, but so it feels good to do it. It feels good to carry out the action. Nobody sees that you miss except Hadil, who gives you a look like this. She watches and she's just like, "No, you have failed."
It's fine. There's some disappointment in herself, but team, we got 5 story points. So what up?
Hell yeah.
But no one
That's right.
died, and we stole
Great
Adam's
job.
only story point. So
That's right. You stole
I'm
it
okay
from
with
me.
it.
Very good.
Thank you for that. That's how it works. So I think we see the shot before we kind of fade into the group of you merging into the parade. We see the tomato sliding down the wall, and you hit instead a big purple and black poster with what looks like a grizzly bear wearing like SWAT armor. And he's looking at the camera and giving a little grizzly bear thumbs up on this poster, and it says like, "Join the Crux Extrajudiciary Force today." And the bear is like on this poster, but he's got a tomato sliding down his face. And as we track the tomato sliding down, we see, and the soundtrack changes and becomes more ominous to indicate this. We see a hooded figure standing watching you in the alley, and we see him. He's got the little binoculars, and he watches the group of you as you go merge into the crowd.
Okay,
kid from
so
Angels in the Outfield.
I'll leave it there on.
It's that pitcher kid from Angels in the Outfield.
Of course.
Damn.
So as we're merging into the crowd, I imagine like Haley is holding onto Johnny's hand.
Oh,
Yeah.
You went
she doesn't
very
get, like,
British there for a
lost in
second.
Who, me?
Yeah, you went like and then he's going to hold
Um,
Johnny's hand. It was just like it just
Oh,
really.
Johnny's
I
hand.
think
I
that's
don't know.
Midwest. I think it's my Midwest. Does it sound?
They do sound exactly the same.
Stupid.
Yeah.
I talk stupid, just like Mark. Uh, but Haley's gonna be holding on to Johnny's hand, and then she's gonna squeeze it really hard to like indicate that Johnny should lean down so she can like say something to him,
Mhm.
like maybe
Johnny
tug on his.
He just leans down like, yeah.
I don't know if I can control myself. This is a lot.
What do you mean?
My programming's kicking in, and I just don't know if I can keep it from happening.
Okay, so Haley,
What happened?
we get one of those classic Hitchcock shots of your face as you're saying this, and like the camera's pulling back but zooming in, so the background is like falling away, and in the background we just hear like ding dong, ding dong, ding dong, ding dong, and like it's all like slightly out of tune as we get this shot of you kind of like talking to Johnny. Yeah.
What do you mean?
It's all coming back, and all the music and the festivities and the repentance. I don't know, Johnny.
What do you need me to do? What can I do for you? What do you need to do?
You have to stop me. I'm gonna blow our cover. Haley
okay.
starts pulling away from Johnny.
Johnny locks you in an iron grip and just absolutely does not let go. Like it's not hard for him to do this. He just basically like tonk, and you're just stuck there. Like no matter how much
we
you
could
try to fight. I mean,
we
if I
could
want
see,
to
we could make a roll. Yeah, Haley,
Yeah,
you could try to break free. Okay, all right. So Johnny's like, Johnny grabs you tightly, and he's like, we're gonna get through this together, Haley. You don't do it. And you can feel your programming being like, you can feel your festivity gauge rising despite your attempts to like tamp it down. You're reaching critical mass of holiday cheer. So the two of you are gonna roll. Actually, just one of you can roll, and I think it's Johnny is the one who is trying to stop the thing from happening. So Haley, your skill will it'll set the difficulty. So Haley, what is your athletics? When you roll athletics, what do you roll?
I've got a 1, so I've got a yellow and a green.
Okay, so Johnny, you're gonna make an athletics roll, and your difficulty is one purple and one red.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, if you're yes, that's true, because you wouldn't pull away with force. You'd try to slip away, right?
I'd wiggle out.
So,
yeah.
So what's your coordination? It's two yellow and
yellows
one green.
and a green. Yeah.
Okay. All right. This may well be the hardest roll Johnny has ever had to make. So Johnny, make an athletics roll with 2 red and 1 purple in the difficult. Difficulty.
Okay.
2 red and a purple. Yeah. And then make.
Alrighty. Athletics. Here we go.
Okay. Ooh, it's a good shape, I see. Merry Shapesmith, everyone.
Merry Shapesmith, everyone.
Sorry, Haley.
Okay. So you managed to hold on to Haley despite Haley's attempts to squirm away. And everyone knows that the most difficult thing is to stop a sugared up, Christmas obsessed child from escaping in the middle of a busy. You're the Kevin McAllister of this group, Haley. Good job. So Johnny, you do, however, manage to hold on tight. And Haley, you feel the urge to be joyous and merry start to subside in the iron grip of Johnny Collins. Your Christmas cheer slowly reduces to a level below critical mass where you can actually like breathe and think again. You feel your own mind kind of returning through a sea of various schlocky Christmas special characters you've had to play over the years. And so you feel that attack withdraw. It fades away.
Thank goodness.
Thanks, Johnny.
Yeah. And now, Johnny, have you like picked Haley up like physically off the ground, and you're carrying Haley now, or?
Actually, he was going to, like, because I think at this point he was just holding her, like, in a very intense hug. But now, it'll be more like friendly, I guess. So yeah, he'll pick her up if she wants like a piggyback ride or something. he could just do that because it's probably easier than just being like, I'm going to carry this child who, is not a toddler, but definitely could like piggyback ride. If she would be inclined. He's not going to do it.
Hell
He's not going to do it unless you don't want to.
Hell yeah.
I just want to know what Haley would have done. Like, we'll never know now. Like, what would that attack have led to? Yeah,
Listen,
but we don't.
We have so many exciting opportunities for Haley to regress into a terrifying holiday gestalt. There's so many holidays throughout the year, so don't you worry. I'm sure we'll have another opportunity.
We haven't already even halfway through the dang episode.
Yeah. All right. So Johnny, you boost Haley up onto your back.
Yep.
All right. Great. Yeah. So this is maybe the first time where when the humans around you look at you and they see like you carrying what looks like a human child, instead of getting a look that reads, put down that child, you insane robot, right? Or like, who is this person? Why are they touching this human? Instead of the looks of like pity and like outright hostility, there seems to be a spirit of goodwill amongst these people. And so instead you get smiles and little waves and like, oh, it's so cute. Look, she's riding on her pet robot. And so everybody is just kind of like treating you like decently. Somebody bumps into you and they apologize. And so you and all these people are walking down the street, and up at the front is the stumbling creature that is Rudolph the Repentant Reindeer. And you're in a crowd, and nobody is trying to like murder or retire any of you.
That's so nice.
I think noticing that people treat Johnny differently is actually like Autumn is genuinely taken aback by that, like, because she's been kind of like, oh, this is kind of heretic, like this is heresy, this is not what I've been taught, and then it's suddenly like these people are actually treating everyone as human beings, and there's no like nobility, like this is like really nice. And I think Autumn's like,
Autumn, I need you to make a roll for me. Now it's a no difficulty roll.
Okay.
But if you fail, you'll stress out and pass out. So there's no difficulty dice. I just want to see how well you remember something. So like knowledge, I guess, like a generic, like roll your generic knowledge skill.
Generic knowledge. So
there is a
dice
mystery
in the pool,
here that I think you might be able to remember. Yeah, no difficulty dice. Just clear that pool.
Of course I get a triumph. Of course I fucking do.
Perfect. Okay. So you can use those advantages you like. This is a moment for you. This is a triumphant moment. You can decide how this affects Autumn. But
okay.
I think what I wanted to see if you remembered here is there's this old Prism like a holiday special, and it's like they did it as a non-denominational holiday special so it wouldn't like offend anybody, and they could air it on repentant planets as well as like to the high church and nobody would be upset. It was called Johnny the Jingle Robot, and it was about a toaster who nobody loved and they were going to throw away, and a little girl who loved Johnny the Jingle Robot so much that her love brought him back to life, and they were best of friends forever. And when you look over at Johnny and Haley, you realize that the model they used for Johnny and the little girl is the same since it's Johnny and Haley. And you're like, oh, that's why everyone's so happy. And you realize this, and the fact that it was a triumph, I don't know, like maybe this movie was like personally meaningful to you, or you have like a memory of you and your sister watching it as children or something. But this is honestly, that triumph means this is a moment of like significance to Autumn. So why is that? What is that like? What is this moment for you when you see this happening?
It's 100% like, it conjures like almost this like photographic memory, maybe kind of like the triumph is almost like it's slightly augmented by like, the psionics or whatever. Like she has like this picture perfect memory of being sat there like on a big Eridanus fancy sofa with the fire roaring and like it's snowing outside, the artificial synth snow is falling and the fire's crackling, and they're watching the movie, and
So we see this from Autumn's perspective, but while Mark is describing this, think about Mark's character. Autumn and Leonard grew up in an Eridanus household. So the scenes take place in what's essentially like the Palace of Versailles. Like the walls are made of gold, and it's like this incredibly, like that couch you described is worth the GDP of a small planet, and it's in the center of a very large empty room with a TV in front of it. And that snow that's like coming down outside, there are servants on the roof who are pouring it out of bags.
Synth snow. Snow.
Fake snow pouring out of bags off the roof.
What?
So you remember this
She
moment,
doesn't
but
know
from
that.
Autumn's perspective. Yeah, from Autumn's perspective,
Little,
it's a beautiful like memory. Yeah.
8-year-old Autumn, or 7-year-old Autumn is there, and kind of like Elsa and Anna, right? Like they're kind of snuggled up next to each other in like a big fake like fur or like a real fur blanket of some sort of like creature. And Landra, like it's that moment, right, of like the Johnny the Jingle Robot puts the little girl up on the shoulders and they go skipping, and it's the end of the movie where they go through the streets and everyone's cheering and like handing out presents and the music's playing, and Landra looks over.
The grumpy old mechanic who like turned Johnny off, like has a tear in his eye, like I've learned what the spirit of repentance is.
Yeah, and it's as they literally turn and they begin walking away, and they walk down the street in that kind of old school movie way, like on piggyback on the shoulders, and Landra looks over at Autumn and says, "That's the future I want to build. That's what I think the galaxy should be, or like the Arkan Row should be, or like that's what the world should be."
Oh, that's so good.
And they literally just like have like a little hug, and then literally it slams back, like if the camera like has like a shot cut to Autumn, who's just crying. She's just like genuinely sobbing. Is this like super strong memory comes in, and it just hits her like a wall.
So
they don't air this
you
special anymore,
this.
do they?
They probably do,
no.
and it's going to get us in trouble.
They definitely don't. And I think the reason I wanted to make the roll is because it's obscure enough that. Oh, thank you. It's obscure enough that most people don't remember it. They wouldn't be like, Synth, she's a fake person. They would just have that emotional resonance from like decades and basically generations of having this story retold to them, but not necessarily. Yeah. So they remember the feeling, but not the plot. They don't have the same, psionically trained memory you do. But yeah, this triggers this deep seated sense of like love and affection and human togetherness in your heart when you see.
And I think
Haley
like
and Johnny.
Autumn, like she's crying and she kind of like wipes it on the cuff of her jacket and literally just runs over and kind of like hooks her arm around Johnny's and kind of like reaches up and hugs Haley as well and just kind of squeezes them tight. It's like a nice like, yay, I do have some sort of a fan, like I've got some people here. Yeah.
Johnny doesn't know why you're doing this.
Yeah.
Like,
are you okay, Adam?
More than happy
I'm
to hug
fine.
you.
I'm just really glad you guys are here. And then she's just like kind of squeezing.
Oh,
Hey there, it's gonna be okay. Don't worry.
Yeah, it's
here
fine.
for
I'm
you.
okay.
and Johnny gives Haley this look of,
Haley like brushes the hair out of Autumn's eyes and like wipes one of her tears away.
Yeah.
It's okay, Autumn. We're here.
She's just
Yeah,
like,
Hadil-
yeah, it's fine.
Through the crowd, you see Hadil, and you and Hadil both notice this little scene. And Hadil doesn't say anything, but she gives you a look that you can only interpret as humans. Like there's an eye roll and a sigh and like, yep. And so you
human emotion.
That's right, pathetic humans and their feelings. So you continue, carried by this wave of goodwill through the town of Pilgrim's Gate to the point at which the procession is going to turn right and go up the hill into a residential neighborhood, and you can now split off and head to the head over to the spaceport if that is what you want to do.
sounds like a solid idea to me.
Okay, all right. Yasna, Can I get you to make a? I need you to make a roll for me real quick. I just gotta check what skill it's gonna be. I think it's perception, and you're being helped. So, what is your perception skill?
It is 2. It's rank 2.
2 green. Oh, it's rank 2.
No,
So
it's
it's
rank 2.
oh, damn, so perceptive. Okay.
Yeah, well, I was
so
athletic
what-
too, but I missed that, Adam. So let's not
That's
get ahead of
true.
ourselves.
That's very true. Okay. All right. So you've got 2 yellow and a green. So deal does help. So can you give yourself an upgrade and roll perception. Give yourself 1 upgrade on your side and roll perception against 3 purples for me.
3 purples. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, please.
Okay. Bam. Holy shit.
What?
God, I wanted that to be my tomato
I've
throw.
ever seen. It is a double triumph. You see everything forever.
Oh my
you just
God.
stare beyond the veil of space and time.
Adam,
Your third eye
give us it all.
Yeah, the gift I gave you on this fine holiday season apparently is the spice melange. So you weren't supposed to take it all at once. Okay, so you got a success, 2 threat, and 2 triumphs. So let's say take the 2 strain just from the stress of like keeping on guard while everybody else is cheering and yelling and singing Christmas songs. So your 2 strain, but you have this double crit, and so I think that you and Hadil notice this person at the same time as each other, and you have a wide window to act if you want to before they notice they've been noticed. So they are taking advantage of the crowd in the same way you are, right? Where you're like, we'll just blend in and everything will be fine. But this person isn't dressed exactly like everyone else. He's like grungy, and he has like the universal sign for destitute human. He has fingerless wool gloves on. He has a cloak wrapped around his shoulders, and he has a scarf covering part of his face. But it takes you a second, and I don't know, like, you tell me whether you trust your first impression or not, but when you see him, you're like, you've seen these eyes before. The only part of him that is visible outside of his like kind of filthy hobo outfit are his eyes, and you recognize these, and I think you flash back to a burning farm and to a Crux shuttle, and you remember the last time you saw the eyes of Martin as he was dragged away by the Crux.
Oh, no.
And you're like, I've seen these eyes before. And so the two, you and Hadil together are like, wait a second, like we know these. And so what do? You have, because it's such a wide window, because you're so on top of things, you are in total control of the situation. He thinks he's hidden, but he's not. What are you going to do?
So I think I'm going to signal Hadil to essentially get a flanking position, and we're going to like come at Martin. We're not going to beat around the bush on this one. We're just going to confront Martin. But we're going to do it where I'm going to walk towards Martin, and Hadil's going to basically stop him if he tries to. You know.
Nice. Okay. So
Yes.
you're gonna come at him at an angle where he might see you, and then if he runs, Hadil will be hidden to like grab him when he tries to turn away.
Right.
Okay.
Exactly.
And is that the plan? Do you want to just like get him out of the crowd and like into an alley or something? Or
Yes. It's like I would
Okay.
I would imagine it's a immediate like, let's not even second guess this. Let us just find out what happened. I mean, if anything, not necessarily a danger, but like, oh, you made it. Like, what happened?
Yeah. Just to like get him
We'll
upset.
see.
Okay. Now,
Yeah.
if you and Hadil do this, if you go after Martin, Haley, Johnny, and Autumn will continue with the parade route, and they'll get away from you. If you break off now and go after Martin. Right? Like, you'll have to separate from the group unless you want to wait and see if he follows you into the spaceport.
I think we need to handle this immediately.
Yeah. Okay.
See you guys
All right.
soon.
So Autumn, Haley, and Johnny, you, at some point in the middle of the crying and the piggybacks and what have you, you notice you've lost contact with Yasna and Hadil. Like you take a look back and you don't see either of the two of them. They have disappeared.
Hey, Johnny,
Yeah.
you know where Yasna and Hadil went?
No. No. Maybe we should look and see if someone's trying to start a fight somewhere. You see any
You think
fighting?
You think maybe they gave into the festivities? Maybe they're
No, 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 no,
celebrating.
no. No, don't say that.
Haley,
Don't
are
say that.
you okay?
Don't say that. I'm sure they're just around somewhere. You
They
know?
were just behind us. They can't be far.
Yeah.
This
Yeah,
is
they're
the part
probably
you go
just
looking for them.
keep-
You bust into the abandoned building like, we're here to save you, and they're just making out.
Yeah.
You're like, I am so sorry. Merry Christmas, you two. We're out of here. So there's this moment where you're looking around. You're like, where did they go? Yasna and Hadil, you are going to make your way towards Martin. Now, Yasna, I assume you don't want Martin to see you until the last minute, right? Until there's no escaping, right? Until the trap is closed. So do you want to sneak
Right.
up on him? Yeah?
Yes.
Okay. So let's have you make a stealth roll. And we'll put the difficulty at, Martin's a little bit paranoid. Let's say one red and one purple. But because you got that massive crit, give yourself 2 upgrades first.
Can I
And
use a
then
story point as
roll
well?
your stealth. Oh yeah, totally. Yeah, you can give yourself 3 upgrades if you want.
Okay. Let's do
Have
that.
all the upgrades in the world.
Let's do that. And a stealth
Okay.
roll, you said?
Yeah, 3 updates, 3 upgrades on your side. Stealth roll against a difficulty of 1 red, 1 purple.
Purple, 1 red, 1 purple. Got it. All right.
Yeah, 1 red. Here we go. Good shapes, everybody.
Good shapes.
There you go.
Boom.
Those are good shapes.
Boom.
Okay. All right. So you're gonna take another point strain, but you got 2 successes, and so yeah, you tell me, you basically you and Hideo pincer trap Martin, or this guy that has the same eyes as Martin, wherever and in whatever fashion you want. So why don't you describe the situation and what happens?
You've seen this scene in a movie many, many times where someone like Martin is like suspiciously looking and they're like tracking an individual. And then suddenly like someone walks by in a giant inflatable snowman suit. And then suddenly Yasna's not there and is like
Where did she
frantically
go?
looking around. And then all of a sudden it's like just the face of Yasna like pops up in front of him. Yeah.
I straight up thought you were implying that to sneak up on Martin,
I thought you were the
Yasna
snowman too.
got in a snowman suit.
No, the snowman walking by was just the moment
You've
in which
seen it 1,000
Yasna darted left.
times.
And then,
The
yeah.
Yeah.
highlights
I
screen
know what you
goes
were going for,
by.
Marcus. I know what you're
Yeah,
going
I understood too. It was like the car goes by and suddenly there's someone right there. But it is funnier
Yeah.
to think of like the snowman taking the helmet off and it's Yasna and she's like, "Bonjour, motherfucker," and then you waddle after him as he runs. Okay, yeah. So like all of a sudden you're there and no question, like immediately you see those familiar eyes go wide. And then he runs. He turns to run for it. He runs right into Hadil, who I think probably gives him like a knee to the stomach to knock the wind out of him. So she grabs him, uses his momentum to like basically just bend him over into her knee and just thunk, hits him. You hear him wheeze in pain and surprise, and then she drags him into a nearby alleyway. And I assume you follow.
Yes.
Okay, so Autumn, Haley, and Johnny, you've reached the point where you need to split off. Now you don't know where Yasna or Hadil are, so do you continue with the plan, hoping the two of them will catch up, or do you change the plan, go back for them? Like, what are you gonna do here?
I think
I
Johnny
would
probably
assume.
trusts them
Go on.
enough to be like, they'll find
Just-
us.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's I'm
Yasna's
thinking the same.
one who's probably got the best sense of direction, maybe among all of us. Unless you know,
we better go look for them. We better go look for them in that group of carolers right there. They're probably in there.
What? No, they're not going to be there,
Yeah,
Haley. What are you
but
talking about?
I have a feeling. I'm just gonna climb down and I'm just gonna go over there. get down from your back here, Johnny. Let go of my legs.
Okay, all right, here you go.
Okay, I'm just gonna go over here.
But no, you don't need to go over to. What? They're not going to be with the carolers. What are you talking about?
You
So
never
Haley, you just
know.
like climb. You just climb down and like scamper away.
Oh no, she's giving in, dude. Oh, she's
Is that
giving
Johnny
in, dude.
saying that, or is that Elspeth?
No, that's me
Johnny's just like,
realizing
oh
that-
no, dude, oh no.
Oh, dude. This is bad. This is bad.
I'm like, does Haley literally just run off as soon as she's on the ground? Is she
Yeah,
just
like a little kid.
"Zoom."
Like she gets down and then just, boom, she's gone, off like a bullet.
No. I'm probably like, Haley, no, and I'm like gonna try and catch her.
Roll for it, baby.
Yeah, I'm gonna got me.
All right, so Autumn.
Where's my athletics?
guess-
Oh yeah.
Well, so I guess this is the question, right? Is that so, Haley? You're just trying to run away. This is a question of like who can go faster, right? Can Autumn catch up before Haley slips away? Is
I
that
don't know.
the
She's
is that the
trying
idea?
to like run away because it's like a conflict of like her like resisting that like programming and and her wanting to give into the programming. So I don't even know if she's running. I think she's sort of just like when somebody's like, "I better mosey on down the road," you know, and she's just like,
I didn't realize that
She's over
Repentance
here.
Day was also cowboy themed. Good, I'll make a note.
That's just me. That's just
Um,
me. I'm cowboy themed.
I mean, who better to
Yeah.
carry the spirit of future Christmas than, I don't know, John Wayne, I guess, or
Yeah.
So Autumn,
Howdy,
it doesn't sound
pilgrims.
like this
Never
is so much
repent.
Haley trying to actively oppose you, Pilgrim, but it sounds more like just can Autumn spot
You're
Haley
a
or do we
real
lose Haley?
great shooter this season.
Oh my god.
Howdy, Phil.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas,
We already talked about the
everybody.
significance of the Stallone, so.
Yeah.
Okay, so Autumn, you're gonna roll
Hey.
perception, and it's can you find a
No
kid
season you are,
dressed?
huh?
Stop
Sorry,
it.
Adam. Sorry.
Can you
sorry,
find a kid dressed like an 1800s peasant child in a crowd of heretical pseudo Christmas enjoyers? So roll
Okay,
perception. I
then.
think the difficulty.
Revelers.
I think the difficulty here is going to be three purples. She's small. It's a big crowd.
cool.
She's dressed like everybody else.
Great. Perception, you say?
Yep.
No.
Oh boy, just bad shapes all around. Surprising no one, this stresses Autumn out. Autumn is feeling very
Oh
strained
no!
right now.
Oh no!
She passes out.
supposed to be like Johnny the Jingle Bot. Why is she running away?
Autumn's
Can't be
just
separated. It's
losing it,
not
like,
the point of the movie.
It wasn't like this in the film.
Yeah, that's literally what
Excellent.
she said.
Oh, beautiful. Okay, all right. So Haley scampers away. Johnny and
I don't know
Autumn
where she's going.
are standing in the crowd. And I think that at this point there's a juncture where the parade has stopped and they stop here to sing some carols before they continue up into another neighborhood. So there's this big crowd, hundreds of people. You've lost Haley. She's disappeared into the crowd, right? Slides under somebody's knees and runs off. And Yasna and Hadil are nowhere to be seen. And I think probably that's our shot before we go to the break is just Autumn. Like,
Before the gang
wasn't
of
supposed to
hired
happen like
thugs
this.
at
You're
the
ruining
spaceport kill me and
Christmas.
Johnny. Yeah.
Ruining.
Yeah, perfect. So we have a moment of true festival of repentance terror as we fade to break. So stick around. We have lots more Verona festivities coming at you in just a little bit. Don't go anywhere.